Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Yori Folarin. Straight off the bat, apologies for coming behind schedule. We hope to be able to make up for it. Okay, therefore, no time at all to spare. Our topic this morning is going to be, we're going to be looking at crude oil theft and corruption, because we'll be speaking very shortly with someone who knows about this, because we look at corruption and Nigeria's well-being. If $17 billion worth of crude oil, it's actually more than that, but people are, trying to be cautious. They say it's over $17 billion worth of undeclared sale of petroleum products, Nigerian petroleum crude, I beg your pardon, not products, petroleum crude, to the U.S. and other countries. Now, that's a very nice chunk of change. And to talk to us about this is Honorable Ehilzua Agwaima, who is a federal commissioner, head of monitoring, in fact, Code of Conduct Bureau. Honorable Ehilzua, good morning to you, and thank you for making time for us.
Good morning to you, and good morning to all our viewers out there. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, first of all, I wanted to sort of set the premise up. If we're saying that at least $17 billion worth, it might be more, of undeclared sale of Nigerian crude to the U.S. and other countries, where did this information come from in the first place? I mean, was it as a result of a whistleblower or I also included in your title here, Head of Monitoring, Code of Conduct Bureau. Does this come under your purview?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, it didn't just something that started today. It's been ongoing for so many years. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay, thank you. It started, okay, good. It started so many years ago. When I was in the House of Rep during the 8th session, and I happened to have been able to, information is very important. Information gathering, intelligence gathering. And before coming to the National Assembly as at then, once upon a time I was a consultant to the National Assembly during the time of my Senate President Chuba Okadigbo, and my friend, my brother in the House of Rep, that was West Idahosa, who happened to be the chairman of House Committee on Petroleum then. I have been very much interested about our dear nation. That was when I was living in America then. But coming back home, I haven't been a member House of Rep, and I decided to look in-depthly to see what is really going on in our dear nation in the oil sector. And to shock you to understand that many people were very much interested as well, like me. That was when our brother Tom Polo initiated an idea, and proposed, an idea to Mr. President, the dead President Jonathan, to undertake to conduct at least a forensic investigation, into the, oil theft in this country. Because people were talking about bunkering, a lot of the militants doing bunkering, but the major bunker are those, taking undeclared crude oil to global destination. And at the end of the day, Mr. President, former President Jonathan, set up a committee, and in that committee, he was there, the vice president, and all the governors from the Niger Delta happened to be in that meeting. So he took it upon himself to say, well, he must go ahead to investigate. But even people were saying that he should investigate from 1999 to present, but he said, no, let me investigate my own tenure. So that was how he approached the then Minister of Petroleum, Desiani. At the time, Desiani was not, she was opposed to it, but Tompolo stood his ground that it must go on. And at the end of the day, the government took it upon themselves to engage Molecular Power System, Nigeria Limited, who later engaged a foreign firm, Lomos, out of the United States, precisely Houston, to undertake to conduct a mapping forensic audit to see how all these ships that left the shore of Nigeria to global destination, at the end of the day, it will surprise you that the end result was shocking. That what landed in the United States alone was over 391 million barrels, amounting to over $17 billion, just the U.S. alone. And the government wanted the molecular power system to engage 51 countries, but they were able to conduct the investigation into 41 countries. And those 41 countries that they investigated, the report was made, presented to the government then, and nothing has happened. So I said, well, I studied the case, I looked at the document, I went to US, met with the molecular power system, went and met with the Lomons and my dear Nigerians. You can imagine what is leaving the soil of this country. Every ship leaving all over the world can be monitored in their control room. And I was able to collect information from a very wonderful Nigerian who happened to be one of the engineer working with Lumos company out of Houston, Texas. And with the collection and data collection from the U.S. Customs, because U.S. Customs gave comprehensive details the crude oil that left Nigeria to United States through Port of Houston and Port of Lake Charles, totaling over 391 million barrels. And at the end of the day, we complain that we are broke, Nigeria have no money. This crude sold, money deposited in the same foreign account. Now, all these years, nobody have taken the initiative. Even the motion that I moved as at that time, that motion is still here, which is clear, urgent need to investigate the over $17 billion stolen from undeclared crude oil and liquefied natural gas export to global destination. This took place in 2016.
That goes back to your time in the House of Representatives.
Yes. Correct.
And this was the 8th session.
And 8th session. Correct. And the speaker then, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, supported me and with other leaders of the House of Rep then. And of course, our leader then was Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, who was very, very supportive. I have to appreciate every one of them who gave me the moral support. And at the end of the day, it was investigated, report made, and I tell you this, in fairness, the government, the present government, under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, took it upon themselves to sue these companies. They sued some of these companies. Okay. And they engaged Nigerian lawyers. Nigerian lawyers. But unfortunately, some of these lawyers, the really will of progress in moving forward, that the lead counsel to this case was Anthony Jerome Stanley from United States, who later told me, after traveling to U.S. to go and have a very serious meeting with him, he said that he's not coming back to Nigeria again. I said, why? He said, because the Nigerian government, the lawyer that they engaged to even help the government, have decided to sabotage the case. So the only way out is to take the litigation to the United States of America. That is the only way we can have a headway.
Before you proceed, you were saying that at the origin of this matter, the then Minister of Petroleum, Diezani, was not for the investigation. She actually was against it. But
yeah, she opposed the investigation. But at least the Mr. President then
insisted.
Took it upon himself to do the needful. Yeah.
Any particular, do you have an understanding of why she would have opposed the investigation since it was her responsibility, and if there was any matter about, Nigeria is losing money, surely she should want to know about it and get to the bottom of it. Do you have any notion at all as to why she might have opposed that kind of an investigation?
But I think that question, well, I think is, I want to appreciate your question, but what is important now is the way forward. Even though she opposed it, the former president stood his ground. And that is why the matter went forward. And Tom Polo said that it must be done, and it came to pass. So I don't want to dwell, whether the reason why she opposed it or not. Yes, the investigation went on, and the end result, the report was conducted, and I would have expected by now, after 7 years, I have been invited to the House of Rep to come and throw more light on the looted, undeclared crude oil that left our soil to global destination. Yeah. Unfortunately, Nigeria, we are highly blessed by God. Natural resources, mineral resources, human capacity. God has given us everything, but we have been our worst enemy. Okay. Nigeria today is bleeding. We say we have no money. Nigeria is highly blessed. Nigeria is rich. So there's no reason for us to be complaining that we have no money. Our money is outside the country, stolen by the cabal. It is the same Nigerians that connive with the IOC, international oil companies, and some Nigerian companies. And unfortunately, NLPC have to come out clean. I'm sorry to say this. I've been saying this over the years, and I believe one day somebody will understand where I'm coming from. Because if we have all these resources, just alluding to there, there's no reason our youth.
Are you alluding to the fact that there's a lot of stuff, inside knowledge, by which I mean knowledge, within the NNPC that they have to come clean about? Did I understand you properly? Was that what you meant?
I'm very clear on that. I've been saying this over the years.